Hey everybody, Kamar Yellows here. It seems like I cannot get to the camera to record these things earlier. It's almost like we should call this thing late night money. But I made a promise I'm going to start doing more video, start talking about markets and money a whole lot more. So here I am, Finance Robo Show. So we're going to talk about a couple things tonight. Of course, we're going to do stock market review. We're going to talk about China and India versus the United States. I got a question. Will gasoline go to $2? What is an IRA? And can you write off child support? That's a funny one. Also, is income tax legal? So these are a couple things we're going to be talking about tonight. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share. Again, please like, comment, and share. I'm pretty sure somebody has something that they can get of value here while we're talking about money tonight. Markets did good today. Been on a roll last couple of days. Overall stock market's been up over 3% today. Pretty interesting. With the biggest impact today being energy. Energy sector was up. Oil was jumping up. So it's pretty interesting that oil is jumping up and the stock market is jumping up. They tend to go up over, you know what? Everybody has questions. Wait till I get to the end and I'll definitely answer those questions, Jody. I appreciate that. I'm trying to concentrate here. I'm trying to do a show. I'm trying to be professional. But in all seriousness, the stock market was up 3% today. Energy led today. It's really interesting. Plus, people are thinking that the China-U.S. trade talks are going to go better than everybody expected. So if you do have any questions, just feel free to throw them in. But I want to keep going on right ahead. So first thing, China and India versus the United States. So it's widely expected that China and India will have bigger economies than the United States come 2030. By 2030, they are expecting that China and India will have bigger economies than the United States. They're saying China's growth is anywhere between 7 and 8% throughout the 2020s. And the United States is growing at a mere, let's say, 3%. Plus, both China and India have larger populations than the United States. So with all of this happening, my question is, do we think it's time to be a global citizen? Most people bias us towards the overall United States in terms of investing, in terms of making money. A lot of times American citizens aren't really thinking about going global and going abroad. But as things shift, opportunities shift, money shifts, power shifts. So the question will be, should we start thinking about going abroad and being able to make more money? I know I'm biased. I want to be a global citizen. I'm working towards being a global citizen. So I would say yes. Some may not feel the same. Now, I'm talking about China and India right now, but I think one of the ones that will be very, very interesting to see is going to be Africa. Africa right now has the fastest growing economies around the world. Africa still has its problems, no doubt, but you're also seeing China taking a lot of interest. They've been taking interest, right? They've been investing in China for quite some time. So I think this is all going to be very, very interesting in the next coming years. Oddly enough, in this report, they also said that about seven of the top economies by 2030, there'll be about 7 emerging markets. So for the most part, the U.S. might get left in the dust. They might get smoked. It's 2019 now, so we're talking about 11 years from now. So the question is, how can you prepare to become a global citizen? Like I said, that's what I'm working towards. We're already getting a global economy. We already have the internet. We're already able to buy things, sell things from China, from India, from Pakistan, from Vietnam. So, why not think about becoming a global citizen? There's no need in just staking all your coins here in the United States. There are other things out there. All right, so The next thing I want to talk about is gasoline. Now, for some of my folks who are over on Instagram, I am on Facebook Live. And so I'm testing out some technology here. And I'm looking at a chart. If I can figure this out, like I said, it's new. I was trying to look at a chart here. And here I am looking at oil and gas, right? So I have oil and gas in the same chart. And I'm just looking at the movements of them. Now, I got this question from a buddy of mine named Davita, and she was asking me, with the downward trend in oil, because oil has been trending downward for quite some time now. These last couple of days, it's been jumping up, but she was thinking that gasoline may go down to $2. The way it looks now, it looks like we've kind of reversed with oil and gas being in a downward trend, and everything has been heading up, heading north in terms of oil and gas. But one of the things with oil and gas is they're really unpredictable. I mean, right now they're still in a downward trend. They're still in a downward trend, but I wouldn't estimate that oil or gas. I don't estimate that gasoline will be $2 a gallon. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. But it does look like, from a long-term perspective, that oil and gas are starting to reverse their downward trend and starting to go upward. So this is going to be really, really interesting. This is going to be really, really interesting. But I also think there's still a lot of oil supply out on the market. So it's just not registering right now. I'm not sure. There's still a lot of global economic tension out in the world right now. So I don't think that or oil will go much lower. So, again, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. So, all right. So another question that I got today was, what is an IRA? Now, I think I have actually answered this question a million times, but I'll keep answering it. So basically what an IRA is an IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account. Individual Retirement Account. And just bear with me for 1 second, folks. There we go. I was trying to get rid of my screen. I was sharing my screen. So IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account. I was asked that question today. And folks wanted to know, what's the difference between an individual retirement account? Is it like a bank account? And no, it's not like a bank account, but you can open an IRA at a bank account, if that makes sense. So most people save inside of an IRA for retirement. You can put money in there. Sometimes you can get a tax deduction for it. Typically, the government wants to incentivize people to leave that money in there for retirement, because most people don't have enough money for retirement. Most people will be working as greeters at Walmart when they're 75, and that is no diss to people working at Walmart, but they won't have much of an option. Most people who are going to be retired will be living totally off Social Security, and it's already a big burden on Social Security already. So it's important that you save. So the government incentivizes people to save. Now, you can put money into your IRA, but they don't want you to take it out. And if you take the money out before 59 and a half, there's what's called a withdrawal penalty. And that withdrawal penalty is 10%. Now, this also goes for, let's say, 401k plans at an old employer. Many times you might take those and roll them over to an IRA. So many times they are subject to the same rules. Even if, again, you were to leave your job and you had a 401k there and you were to take all the money out and you didn't necessarily put it into an IRA, it's still treated like an IRA. All right. So they have you put the money into an account until you're ready to retire. Ideally, they don't want you to pull the money out before 59 and a half, but if you do, they then charge you 10% penalty, a 10% penalty on what you pulled out. So if you pulled out $100,000, 10% is $10,000. And I've seen a lot of people do this, and I've seen a lot of people take major hits to their bank accounts because they didn't save enough, they didn't plan enough, and so they weren't able to really deal with retirement in the best way as possible. So, when you put money away, you really want to think about it. Now, when you put the money away into an IRA, you have the opportunity to invest in the stock market. There's other types of IRAs that you can invest in other things as well. But that's a little bit more sophisticated for this conversation. So I just want to kind of keep it simple and plain. You keep the money in there, you take it out at retirement. Now, let's say the scenario is you've done a great job of saving money. You've done a great job living below your means. You get to retirement, you don't need to take it out. Guess what? The government makes you take it out. Or again, they give you a massive, massive penalty. It's called requirement minimum distribution. So when you get to age 70 and a half, for some reason, the government has a thing for these halves for whatever reason. But when you get to 70 and a half, you have to start taking the money out. So, again, IRAs are great. You put the money in, you potentially get a tax deduction. The money can potentially grow tax-free, which is great because we all know the power of compounding is very powerful. It's very mighty. And the fact that you don't have to pay tax on top of that money that's being compounded and growing helps your money grow that much faster. So it's really good to think about IRAs. It's really good to think about Roth IRAs. I'll go over that real quick as well. So you have traditional IRAs is what I just talked about. And then you also have Roth IRAs. Roth IRAs are still an IRA. The difference is you really don't get to deduct any money in the beginning. The money grows tax-free. You get to invest it the same way you would in a traditional IRA. The difference is at the end, when you start to withdraw, you don't have to pay any money on it. You don't have to pay any tax on it. And you don't have to worry about paying required minimum distribution, or RMD, at 70 and a half. So you don't have to worry about a lot of those things. The Roth it's a little bit more stringent to get into. There's some income needs that you have to worry about. Actually, there are income needs for both of them, but the income needs for Roth are a bit more stringent. So not a recommendation. Everything I talk about here is for education and entertainment purposes. So, don't say Kamari told me to open an IRA. I am just answering questions, trying to be a good steward to my community and help folks understand finances a lot better so they can have financial freedom for themselves, their family, and their overall community. But again, IRAs can be very, very good. IRAs can be used very, very powerfully when done right. But I would sit down with a tax advisor and your financial planner as well when you're talking about these things. All right, moving right along. Other question I got today, I thought was it wasn't funny, but I don't think I've ever gotten this question in this manner before. So the question is, can you write off child support? And so I've asked people, when can you claim a child? When can you, if there's a baby mama, baby daddy, I hate using that term actually, but when you have that type of situation, when can you, claim a child? But I was asking you write off child support. Quick, short answer to that is no, you can't write off child support. But the question I thought the person was asking is, when can you write off your child or claim your child? And so the rule for that is if you pay 51% of that child or that dependent's upkeep. Now, the rules around claiming children are going to be a little bit different this year because of the tax law change, but still 51% is still going to be the rule that IRS uses to determine if you are eligible to claim a child. Now, over the years, I've run into lots of things. I've seen people buy and sell children in terms of using them for dependents on their tax returns. It's illegal. Don't do it. Again, don't do it. If you get caught, it's not worth it. If you get caught, you get flagged in the system for some time going forward. And then the IRS will want you to prove that this child is actually your child going forward. And that is a major, major pain in the butt. So I would be really careful. Well, excuse me. No, I wouldn't be careful. I wouldn't do it at all. Let me just stop there. I wouldn't do it at all. I wouldn't seek to claim other people's children that are not yours. I wouldn't seek to claim a child that is yours, and you might have a co-parenting issue where you need to claim this child. You need to work that out between you and the child's mother, or you and the child's father, before you actually do it. Like I said, it's a major pain if it doesn't go well for you and that child. Because I've seen where, let's say, a child's mother will go ahead and file that child and tell the father they can claim the child in their tax return, and it all backs up on them. So it could be really, really crazy when you get a chance. Comedic, give me a chance. Let me finish up. I'll bring you on towards the end. I got one more thing to cover. Is income tax legal? So a lot of people ask me this question: is income tax legal? I see it a lot. I wonder why people don't think that you shouldn't pay income tax, or why we're always looking for a reason not to pay income tax. But the thing they always say is that there's no written rule or no written law anywhere regarding income tax. And I looked this up years ago because there's always somebody out there talking about this. And so I actually wanted to have the actual law here so I can cite it. So give me 1 second. I had it up, but then I lost it. But you can cite the 16th Amendment. So I'll say this. I'm a big fan of Wesley Snipes, Blade, White Man Can't Jump, Mo Better Blues. So he got into a lot of trouble a few years ago because he didn't pay his taxes. And then the people that were advising him, that he was working with, told him that he didn't have to pay his taxes because it's not law. That's a lie. It is law. Now people will say you shouldn't do it because it's not in the original Constitution. That is not true. It's actually the 16th Amendment. So I'm going to read part of the 16th Amendment. I don't want to bore y'all to sleep, but Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes on income from whatever source derived without apportionment among the states and without regard to any census or enumeration. Basically, what that means is Congress has the power to levy taxes from the citizenry, from the citizens. All right. Congress has the power to pull taxes, whatever way they want, right? So from whatever source derived, and they don't have to share it with the states. And so if you're familiar with, states' rights and things like that, you'll understand why they say they don't have to share it with that. Now, there's been a lot of people that protested. You can go ahead, you can rock out, you can do that all you want. I don't look good in orange, or I don't look good in orange jumpsuits. And my thing is, I'm not willing to go to jail for anybody just because they don't want to pay taxes. Again, I see people talk about this a lot, and they try to talk about it with great authority. That's why you always have to go, and I say check people's resumes, look and see who they work with, what the outcome has been. And I bet the people that work with Wesley Snipes probably, quote unquote, have some pretty big folks that were able to slip through the cracks and were able to get away with this, so to speak. And, that's not, far-fetched. But the question is, and what I always say is, what happens if you get caught? What happens if you get caught not filing taxes, not paying taxes? People don't realize that many times criminals go to jail not because of the criminal activity. They go to jail because of what? Taxes. They go to jail because of taxes. The IRS is a very, very powerful governmental agency. So to me, it's not worth it unless you willingly want to risk your life and your freedom. Pay taxes. Pay taxes, folks. Income tax is legal. It's sanctioned in the Constitution. It's the 16th Amendment. It's legal. It's legal. And so again, if you want to fight the U.S. government, fight the IRS, go right ahead. It won't be with me. I don't want no problems. I don't want no smoke. So Again, tonight we went over, of course, stock market, talked about China and India taking over the United States in terms of their economies. Will gasoline go to $2? I said, no, I don't think so. What's an IRA? Can you write off child support? And is income tax law? So like I've been telling everybody, I've been working on doing more of these videos live because people have been asking me this. I've been getting more and more questions. And it's just more efficient for me to just kind of do this instead of trying to write replies a lot of times. So I have one question on Facebook. Question is, how do we get government bonds? Jody, you can get government bonds. You can get government bonds on the government website. I have to find, it's like Direct Treasury something. You probably can get some EE bonds or some I bonds. I'm not sure what kind of bonds you're talking about. If you want to get like some 2-year or 10-year bonds, it's a bit more, but you can start buying I bonds. I want to say as low as $25. So if you're looking for a vehicle to save, it's not bad. I prefer you actually open up a brokerage account, open up a Robinhood account. I think they're paying something like 3% interest just to set your money in there. And there, it's not a bank, it's a brokerage account, but they're paying about 3% interest right now. I got to double check on that. But to me, you get better results with having your money sitting cash in a brokerage account than locking it up inside of government bonds. But they also make great gifts, right? I mean, we just got over Christmas time. I'm always a big proponent of saying that let's stop wasting so much money on toys, because if kids play with them and then, a week or so goes by and they're done. So I would say, take some of that gift money and buy some stock with it. Give them a gift that will definitely keep on giving. But as always, if anybody has any questions for me, any questions they want me to answer, I love answering the questions. Shoot me a DM on Facebook or on Instagram. Don't be bashful. There's no question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. There's no question too big or too small. So again, I'm Kamari Ellis. I'll be back tomorrow. And you all have a great night. Have a good one.